From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. As this recon has now passed, the incredible recon passed overnight, and now the Senates are adding changes to this incredible recon, the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of this channel. In this recording, we go over the breaking news about those Senate changes that will be added to this recon as we now head to the Senate. But we're first going to go over the incredible programs in this fourth stimulus recon that pays you lots of money. And that lots of money amounts to at least $15,000 across all these incredible clusters of checks. Then we'll be turning to the big sums of money that you don't have to wait for at all. It's available right now, and it's available under third stimulus. $45,000 of checks. I have the latest in this recording. Then we turn to the big exciting details of student loan debt forgiveness. More debt can be forgiven. And then we turn to the exciting elements of fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus heating up across the board, and that money definitely needed as we go into a new year. And that raise of your benefits up if you are on SSI, SSDI, and Social Security benefits. Then we'll go to frame wars, and boy, it's exciting across the board as we see new details about which frames need to go to the finish line. Not particularly $1,000 frames, but you know, we try our best. It's a big, bold, beautiful evening. I'm excited you're here. This is an exciting night as your fourth stimulus recon passes, and away we go. Now $15,000 of checks in this fourth stimulus recon, but $45,000 of checks available for you right now in the third stimulus. It's starting right here, right now, as Evenings LA gets underway. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And here we go. Your fourth stimulus recon has passed. That fourth stimulus recon will pay you a lot of money. Thousands of dollars of checks across this incredible recon. And the senators are adding more checks into that recon across the board as well. We're going to go over the programs that'll pay you about $15,000 in this fourth stimulus recon. And then the third stimulus recon that's currently law that'll pay you $45,000. Viewers continue to get money throughout the day. Throughout the week, I'll have their latest success story in this recording as well. Student loan debt forgiveness, more debt could be forgiven. Whose debt is this? I'll have the latest details on that. Fifth stimulus heating up across the board. That is that COLA raise. And then we go to the exciting details of frame wars. Plus, we had a preview of Sir Loin and what he's been up to. Boy, we got a big, bold, beautiful evening. I'm excited you're here. And this, my friends, is LA, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Coming up next is Evening's Countdown, then Stream Stimulus. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Meantime, the exciting details is abound, and here we go. That fourth stimulus recon that passed overnight has a lot of checks in there. That'll pay you on average about $15,000 of checks. I'm going to go over that first. Then I go over all the checks one at a time. Then we go over the third stimulus. It's paying viewers some big sums of money right today. You got bills to pay? I got bills to get paid for you. It's with third stimulus. It's coming up later in this video. Then we cut to fifth stimulus and then also frame wars. Those details and more, but now let's get right into the incredible breaking news. As the House of Representatives has now passed your wonderful fourth stimulus recon that'll pay you $15,000 across all these wonderful clusters of checks. Lots of checks that amount to $15,000. Let's go over each of them starting right now. Hazard pay got in there, and that is great. It is the earned income tax credit for my essential workers front end check. Then they got the big money, a back end check. Then they got the $4,000 of elder care. They got the $4,000 to care for the young children. They got the CTC, the child tax credit, for one more year. Then they got the money to repair your home if you're in a low-income community. Wow, wonderful news as well. Then they got the big surprise of $12,500 for the purchase price of a new electric vehicle. There you go. The first cluster all passed, and it pays you at least $5,000 in that first cluster. The first add-on comes from Maxine Waters. It's wonderful. And this first add-on for Maxine Waters is free money to go buy a house. Excuse me? Was that a misstatement? No, it was not a misstatement. It is free money to go buy a house. And she got it in there. Your first time home purchase. She wanted $25,000. It'll be a little bit less. Let's go over the details of that later. Stay with me throughout this video. I'm going to show you how you get this big money. And here we go to the second cluster of checks. Here we go. They got in there home repairs and paid leave. Paid leave, front end check, home repairs, got it in there, pre-kindergarten, got it in there, and got in there the household tax credit. But the big one is the weatherizing your house. You need to weatherize your house because people sometimes show up and never leave. You ever have a guest that sort of shows up and never leave? Is his name Kevin McCarthy? Just sort of shows up and won't sip it. Yeah, you need to weatherize quickly. Let's go to the second add-on at checks. It comes from the wonderful $250 billion provision from Bob Casey. Bob Casey, the senator out of Pennsylvania, got it in there. And it's deliciousness. Wow, it's great. It's not going to be this price point. It's going to be a little bit less, but it is free home health care for my seniors and people on disabilities. How do you get this money? Stay with me. It's coming up in a second, which brings us to our third cluster of checks. Oh boy, deliciousness. Here we go. Free school meals for all. We got cheaper prescription medication, immigration reform. We got free internet. We got also farmers. We got the workers, independent contractors, and we got the Medicare assistance. Medicare assistance will have two provisions currently, but there's likely three coming on as well. The House bill that passed today, it has a lot of provisions in there, but the senators are adding stuff in there. So far is in their hearing and also the Medicaid gap states. Bernie Sanders is adding three other provisions in there. They are dental, vision, and also dropping the eligibility age of Medicare, which brings us to the third add-on, and you know what that third add-on is, MSC, which stands for Multiple IRS Stimulus Check. MSC. And the great news is that three different separate viewers have called different people this week and have been told again it's still going in there. Those people are, of course, senators. The 6 senators who have vowed to put that money in that recon continue to keep pushing. And we continue to push as well. 2 C's, 2 S's, 2 W's. Casey Coons, Warren Sanders, Wyden, I just messed that up. Casey Coons, Sanders, Schumer, Warren, Wyden. Yeah, I put the S with the W. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You need to pick up the phone and advocate to them because they want to hear from you. How much are we looking at? The last time they gave us a rundown, they said $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for a total of 6 months, and the same eligibility as third stimulus. What was the eligibility for a third stimulus check? It was $75,000 single individual or less, you get a check. $150,000 or less married couple, you get a double check. And family of 4, you get a quadruple check under third stimulus. Same amount for SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. You need to advocate because guess what? The senators today, this last month, have all said we're adding a lot of stuff to this recon when it lands in the Senate. And this is one of the provisions they can add, either during vote-a-rama or during Senate subcommittee. And you need to advocate every week. And the message from the senators is we want to hear you advocating. The number one message from the number one chief of staff to the number one guy of the recon is keep on calling us. And that message says the following. They have now in total between congressional senators' offices received more contacts of advocacy from the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures of the American petition. Now they have a better understanding of what Americans are going through because of the pandemic. They have heartbreaking stories, and they're the voice of the people in ULA. As you have become too large, I said large. I'm not large. I'm loud. Sorry. Too loud to be ignored. Yeah, you're too, rotund to be ignored. No, thank you. Please continue your encouragement for the continued advocacy. As the professional voice of the people you have become, keep on advocating LA until this becomes law. Very, very kind. You need to pick up the phone, dedicate yourself, allocate yourself 1 day for the C's, 1 day for the S's, and 1 day for the W's to call up and advocate for that inclusion. Because here we go. We're landing in the Senate, where they said they would put it in there. Thousands of viewers told by the 6 legislators over the last few months, they're added in there. Here is their opportunity. You need to advocate beforehand, not after the fact. Now, the great news is I also want you to dedicate 1 to 2 days per week to get your big money right now. What money right now? Third stimulus. If you got bills to pay, receipts to pay, mortgage, rent, utilities, food, or internet, no time to wait for fourth stimulus, you can get it right now from third stimulus. About $45,000 is the average payout that viewers have gotten from third stimulus to pay for their bills. And I'm going to show you in the second half of this video how to get that money. But meantime, we're going to go also over fourth stimulus and what these $15,000 of checks are, multiple checks. We're going to go over the Senate changes of what they're going to add into this recon, the student loan debt forgiveness, the amount that's going to be forgiven, the fifth stimulus that's coming up in January, and then frame wars. People just don't see eye to eye. I mean, they just don't. And no matter how beautiful the lenses are, they still don't see eye to eye. Those details and more as we come up in the second half of this video. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now as we go into the second half of this big evening's LALATE. The House recon passed overnight, and the exciting details is we're off to the Senate. And the Senate's going to add provisions into this incredible recon. So what are those changes? I explain the details. Those checks, how many? I'm going to go over each of them and how you get them, upwards of $15,000 in this fourth stimulus recon. Then we turn back to third stimulus that has a lot of money, upwards of $45,000. How you get that money as well, covered in this video. Student loan debt forgiveness, $15,000, $10,000. What will the number be? I have the latest. COLA, this stimulus is raising your benefits up a lifetime. How much? And when would this happen? I have the latest breaking tonight. Frame wars. Oh boy, we are far from over because frame wars is heating up and new messages coming in today. What viewers thought about frames. Are we getting framed? Or is Kevin McCarthy getting framed? Those details and more as we go into a big evening's LALATE. And this, my friends, is LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is Countdown, then Street and Stimulus, part of our 3-hour programming block. Then we got a brand new, never re-released Sirloin back tonight at 8 o'clock. We got shows at 9, 10, 11 o'clock, all tonight, all about the same programs of this recon. Watch those videos, very informative, and we have a new overnight scripto as well. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, and consider becoming a member. And here we go. Well, the president got what he wanted, and we got what we wanted. The reconciliation fourth passed the House of Representatives today. And that fourth stimulus reconciliation happened exactly as we had been told by me to you. What's going on? Let's back up. We had 2 steps: reconciliation procedural, reconciliation substantive. Reconciliation substantive, the second part, passed in the House today. Reconciliation procedural started about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when they passed in the Senate and the House a $3.5 trillion framework of the recon. Then it got reduced. At that point, I said, I think they're going to write this legislation in the subcommittee of the House. I was the only one to say it, and they did. I said they're going to vote on the first in the subcommittee of the House. They did. Then I said they're going to vote on the House floor first. No one else was saying that. They were saying Senate. And it was at the House floor vote. That vote happened today, not much of any dramatics, and away we go to the Senate. As soon as the vote happened, Bernie Sanders said exactly what he said several weeks ago, first detail on this channel. It's a good bill, but I got a lot of stuff to add to it. So there we go. The House bill sent over to the Senate, and now the Senate has it. That means that the Senate will be making changes to them. What are all those changes? We're going to go over the details of that in just a second. But first, let's go over the excitement of the programs in this recon. The first one that's going to pay you money, get that pen and paper ready, is the paid leave. Paid leave is a lot of money. What is it? $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year. $400 a week if you make $15,000 or more per year. How many weeks? 4 weeks. Whoa, that is $5,000 to $6,000. Yes, it's a lot of money. And the eligibility is even better. Eligibility is huge because it is everyone, all type of workers, W-2, 1099, and all income qualifications. Now, paid leave of family leave. You have to stay home because of work, because of illness, death, or a person who got pregnant, gave birth giving birth in the family. But the great news is that you, if a viewer, do not have to be the worker. Just you live with someone in the household that is. For example, let's say you live with your son and daughter and you're retired and they take you to the doctor once a week. Well, the check would come in their name for the household because of them having to take you to the doctor. There we go. The second check that's huge in this, or covered benefit in this item, is the SALT cap. Currently $10,000 on the Republican 2017 tax overhaul. Now will be growing to $72,500 that you can deduct in federal tax return of what you pay in state and local taxes. Yes, $72,500. They got $40 billion of free job training. A lot of viewers love this. I've had a lot of viewers over the last year, whether it was Tia or others, who wanted to take up a new career. Now you can, and they will give you free job training. They got Medicaid gap fix in there, big, because I have a lot of viewers asking about the cheaper insurance, or they can't afford insurance. In those 12 Republican states where the governors refused to pay for Obamacare, now they have a workaround plan. That workaround plan will provide years of subsidized private insurance to low-income uninsured people in those states. Incredible. Then we got to the housing assistance, the best provision of this entire recon. $150 billion to $175 billion for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and also home repairs, low-income community, weatherize your home, and the purchase price of your first home. Now, if the first few items sound familiar, they should, because they were also in third stimulus. The only difference is they're law. Fourth stimulus is not law yet. And the average viewer of this channel is getting about $45,000 for third stimulus. So now I'm going to step back into third stimulus land and show you how to get your bills paid today. You don't have to wait 5 months, 5 weeks, 5 days. Third stimulus is paying money right now. Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and food. Then there's the nonprofits that are helping for other items like small nominal repairs like a broken window, or also for things like a furnace, portable furnace, or portable heater, or clothing, or people, shelters for the homeless people. How do you get this money? First, let's go over broadly the elements. Number one, you qualify. You qualify. Single, married, children, no children, red state, blue state, disabilities, not on disabilities, behind on bills, not behind on your bills. You qualify for this money. So let's go over the first one. And the first one is rent. It is a lot of money. That rent was 3 months ago this type of number. $20,000 to $30,000 is grown substantially. Now it's $40,000. Why has it grown? One, because viewers have gotten sophisticated by watching all the videos of this channel. Two, they have learned to get multiple sums of money. Number three, the rent has actually gone up in price as well. So that is among the reasons why that is happening. So how much is it now? It's about $40,000. So where do you get the money? All right, get that pen and paper ready. Get ready to write this down. If you're a member to this channel, you get the newsletter. You don't have to write it down. It's in the newsletter. Here are the 6 places you reach out to. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, State House Authority. The keywords, also in the newsletter, that you want to say when you call up are the following. Rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. Now, here are a couple catches, a couple important things to remember. These are very, very important. Number one, you must, M-U-S-T, reach out to all 6 places. Do not reach out to one and call it a day. Why? They have different pots of money. They have different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the other ones. They do not do the same thing. They do different things. So please must reach out to all 6 places. Number two, apply everywhere. Don't put one application in and say, I'm waiting for that one application. No. Apply everywhere that you can apply. Finally, you can get multiple sums of money for the same item from different locations. You can get 3 rounds of rent from the same location. You can get a round of rent from one location and then turn around and get another round of rent at another location. Do not think you're restricted to only getting rent in one place and only once. That's not how it works. They expect you to come back and ask for other months. Do the same thing for mortgage assistance. Utility. Wow, these are the numbers 3 months ago. They're much higher now. A month ago, this is 3 months ago. Then a month ago, they were 15,000 when Mark's brother-in-law got that rent. But now the CPI reveals that we're going up a lot. The Consumer Price Index reveals the price of heating oil is going up 49.1% this month. So expect this number to go to potentially 20,000. Get every utility bill you have paid. If you're watching this channel right now and you own a cell phone, or a telephone, you own a pen and a paper, you can do this. That's all you need. A phone, a pen, and paper. If you're a senior, you can pick up the phone and call the utility companies. You call them when you smell leaky gas or the power's out. We can call them up and say, hey, I want some money. No, you actually say utility assistance because of COVID. But you can do this. You do not need a computer for any of this. This is not sophisticated stuff. This is very, very basic stuff. The same numbers you always call. Food, get it. You qualify for it. If you got a third stimulus check, you qualify for SNAP. SNAP is money for food. You get from the Department of Agriculture. Reach out to them. And yes, it's gone up a lot. 2 months ago, in October, they raised the benefits 25% lifetime automatically. So Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year. Yes, that's $250,000 over the next 10 years. Get that money for food. It is huge. Lastly, get multiple sums of money. So don't stop with one, get multiple, and I don't mean two. Here's Nisi. She got 3, 23,000. Congrats, Nisi. Nancy, 3, 32,000. Mark, 2. Mark at 2 at 32,000. I said, that doesn't cut it, Mark. Go get the third item, and he did. His third item brought him from 32 to 50,000. Then he got more items. Now he's at $100,000. Keep on pushing like Mark did. Lorraine, she was at 105, and now she's at 120. That's what you do. You keep on pushing across the board. Which brings us to Johnny. Very indicative of what you should do. Johnny has 2 great parts to his story. First, the best part of the story was the first part, which was he started a week watching this channel with 2 other viewers. By the middle of the week, Johnny and 2 other viewers who did not even know each other, all 3 got $45,000 from 3 items. 3 programs paid them $45,000. Great amount of money for 3 items, but very well done. But Johnny didn't stop there. He heard me say never stop. And by the weekend, he got 7 items approved. I love that story. But why I like that story is because he clearly called maybe 15 places. You don't call 7 to get 7. He probably called 15 places. You have to keep on calling. I shake my head every time someone says, I call 1 place, I stop. That's not how we do it. Johnny called 15 places and got 7 items approved. How much did he get in 5 days? $80,000. This is not a rare occurrence. This is not a rare occurrence. The second part of Johnny's story I also really like. He reached out to his family members the following Monday, say, hey, you know what happened? I got this money from this YouTube channel I was watching, LALATE. He's a real deal. Oh, what'd you get? $8,000. Whoa, what'd you get it from? He said, from third stimulus. Third stimulus, the family member said. Third stimulus, that's just that $1,400 stimulus check. There's no $80,000 in third stimulus. I saw that on broadcast news. I saw it on cable news. I saw it on print media. I saw it on the local news. Why have they never talked about it? He said, because they never talk about it. Only he talks about it. He goes, incredible sums of money. They're in third stimulus, the incredible sums of money that how do you get in, where you get it. And those family members went from disbelievers to believers by the end of the week. They each got $50,000. Johnny's statement is indicative of what the situation is that if you make those phone calls, you get the money, but also indicative of the landscape. Today, the House of Representatives passed a 4 stimulus recon. And you know how much the broadcast media told you about it? Not much. They pass, and there's maybe 1 or 2, 3 graphics that this item, that item, 200 billion. It doesn't tell you anything about the recon, like how you get it. It just has a sort of graphic, and that was it. And they moved on. They're on to, Kim Kardashian, what shoes she was wearing when walking with the guy from SNL. It is very, very sort of strange. That's not what I do here. This is why this channel succeeds. This is why you succeed. Because I show you under first stimulus, second stimulus, third stimulus, and also under fourth stimulus now, how to get these sums of money. What are these sums of money? What are the eligibility? So keep that pen and paper in hand. We're going to go back into forced stimulus right now, and we're going to turn back to that housing. That housing money is really great. We have the home repairs, we have the weatherizing, and we have the first-time home purchases. Okay, the first-time home purchases, we don't see any income qualification on that, nor on the weatherizing. But the low-income homes we do, repairs we do, that would be a grant. Remember, it's not law yet. They got in there They got in there also $150 billion for the home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. They got the tuition aid, $550 checks for the Pell Grant recipients, college students. And then they got the $12,500 back-end checks for the purchase of an electric vehicle. For tonight on Evenings LA, for the first time ever, I show you my analysis here where I just don't think this part is going to pass. Someone's going to have to change something. Why? I was not alone in seeing a problem with this provision. And listen to one of my favorite radio stations this morning, I realized they see the same problem. And not the station, but the analyst they had on. I just don't think it's lawful. I think it's against the law. What's at issue? $12,500 for purchasing an electric vehicle. That's fine. Made in a union shop. That's fine. Made in the U.S. That violates U.S. trade policies with Mexico and Canada. Let me show you why. The problem I've been confronting on this provision for the last few weeks is there's only really one car that qualifies into this provision at the moment. It's a Chevy Bolt, which is not a particularly attractive car. One car. Then Ford may have the Lightning, and Cadillac may have the Lyric, made in Tennessee. That would bring you to three cars, and then of course there's the Hummer, which is $120,000 or something. I mean, who really cares about that? That's four cars. Well, what about all the other electric cars that GM and Ford and Chrysler makes? Where are they being made? Mexico and Canada, with U.S. workers who are unionized. They're the same workers. It's a U.S. plant. It's a U.S. owned plant with U.S. labor workers who are unionized. They're just in the country of Mexico and the country of Canada. So he wants to say, no, if you buy the Cadillac Lyric made in Tennessee by Cadillac and union workers, I'll give you the credit. But if you want to buy the Ford Mustang Mach-E, which is made by Ford, it's union workers, but made in the country of Mexico with U.S. workers who unionize, I'm not going to give you the credit. No, that violates the U.S. Trade treaty between Mexico and Canada. You cannot detrimentally hurt Mexico or Canada, even when it's our workers that are in the plant. It's not like it's Mexico. It's not like they're other foreign country workers. So I don't think he's going to have to modify the language. It doesn't make sense. And I don't think he realizes that there's very few cars that qualify. I mean, we're not doing a Hummer provision in the recon, are we? Yeah, it's just... Let's do a $120,000 Hummer provision. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It sounds like a Kevin McCarthy line. $65 per month for the person who went and staying home from school. Then the best part of this incredible recon is the cheaper medication. Wow, how did they get that in there? This is great. They're going to immediately have 20 medications cheaper on day one. They're going to go negotiations with Big Pharma, Medicare. And those 20 medications are the most expensive. Arthritis, cancer, diabetes, and wow, you can see insulin drop from $1,000 a dose to $35 a dose. This is a result of a 20-year battle over the situation, and they got it done. And then it will grow to 30 medications by the year 2028. This is Medicare Part D, Medicare Part B, and the medications cannot increase more per year than the rate of inflation. And if they do, there's a penalty provision for Big Pharma. But warning signal, can you put a penalty provision in a recon? No, says Pat Toomey, Republican senator. And I've covered him for over a year. He usually knows his stuff. He usually really is good with this sort of minutia. So if that's true, it's coming out. What else is in jeopardy? The immigration reform in the forced stimulus recon. And the parliamentarian is determining all this stuff. Who is she? She's a government official. She's not a partisan person. She's a government official. She previously said immigration reform cannot go by recon. And then finally, the provision that concerns a paid leave, that's on the battleground. Just a side note, if you unfortunately watched anything from Kevin McCarthy last night on the House floor, or you watched one of the conservative media that covered him, every single thing he said about what's in the recon was untrue. It's very unfortunate. And a lot of people rely upon elected officials to tell them the truth. He just made up stuff. Awful. All right, let's get back into the business of that recon. So, what is Bernie and co. going to do when it lands in the Senate? They're adding a lot of provisions in there. So, you look at this graphic, I say 15,000. It's undervaluing the situation. You know, and I know that everything that was on the third stimulus, that page of $45,000, is in fourth stimulus. That has to be at least $15,000. And that is before we get to the Senate changes, which is going to grow that number even more. So the Senate changes, what is going to happen? Bernie said 4 weeks ago, he's adding stuff in there. And as soon as that recon passed today, he said, get ready, I'm adding more stuff in there as well. And we have him, we have Ron Wyden, we have Chuck Schumer, we have Casey, we have Coons, we have Murphy. They're all saying it. So get that pen and paper ready. Time to go over some more checks and moolah in this recon. Universal pre-kindergarten, which was trending online today, actually. A lot of people are excited about this. 1 year for 3 to 4 year olds covered. Then the child tax credit back end covered. Then the earned income tax, the CTC, the child tax credit front end paid $3,600. The earned income tax credit, hazard pay, essential workers back end, 1 more year about that. The home health care, it's in there as well. That's likely a covered benefit. But the hearing aid, that's likely a check. We went over the housing, we went over the $550 Pell Grant recipient check, and we went over the $65 per child when they're not in school. So what else would Bernie put in there? In addition to putting in there the MSC, Bernie wants to do lower eligibility age of Medicare, dental, and vision. He says we're the richest country in the globe, but there's no reason we don't have this money in there. So let's turn it to each of those items first off the bat. Is the lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. It's currently 65. Bernie wants at 55. Maybe a hard sell, but Bob Casey wants at 60. I think they can do 60. Then Bernie wants to get dental in there for people on Medicare. Absolutely. Why? How can there not be it there? It makes no sense. He wants at 10 years. I don't think he can get that. That's too expensive. Then he was going to 3 years full benefits. I think he can get that. The current last offer, which was removed, it's gone now, was an $850 check to you per year for dental. That doesn't cut it. Doesn't pay for most procedures. You know, it's like a cleaning and a half a procedure. So Bernie didn't like it. The other provision he wants to get in there is vision. Vision is very simple. Vision is very simple. It is an eye exam and a pair of frames every year, says Bernie. And I said, eye exam, Costco, $50. And a pair of frames, $100 at your local frame store. Done. A very simple $150 check sent out every year. Oh no, that spawned frame wars. Frame Wars just heated up. And I saw your comments today in the latest edition of Frame Wars. I had someone viewer send me a private message on Facebook, said her frames are 14 karat and she needs a specific type of lighting for the frame. I don't know what that means. Does it go through like some prism? Does it like look Kevin McCarthy in the eye? And there's, then we got the prescription ready. She said it's over $1,500. Don't know if that's real or fake. Sometimes I just can't figure out these items. It started Frame Wars on day one when one viewer said, my daughter pays for my frames at $450 a frame, and I have to have them. And I said, that's nice, but Medicare is not shopping at the Joe Manchin Maserati store. Medicare is not buying your frames at in Paris, France, or Paris, Kansas. They're just not buying these type of frames, and yet people still have very strong opinions about it. The opinions have included, you do not know. I have to have trifolds. They're 3 frames, and then they change certain colors, never purple. So I don't know why it's a cover benefit because there's no purple in there. But I'll change all these colors, and then I go in and out, and I go nighttime and lighttime. Oh, and the person who sent me the message today in the latest edition of Frame Wars says I have to have 2 glasses per year. I have to have a pair of sunglasses every year, and I have to have a pair of frames every year. What happened for last year's sunglasses? Are we that stylish that last year's sunglasses are out of style? No one's prescription changes that much year to year. I'm sure that comment just alone is going to get 500 comments. Yes, my prescription changes every 2 minutes. I got to get a brand new frame every year. Okay, but a new frame and a new pair of sunglasses every year? So that would, I guess, spawn a whole spin-off show. Frame Wars, the transition spin-off. Should you be entitled to a frame that does transitions, or should you be entitled to a pair of sunglasses or a pair of normal glasses? Of course, there's some people that have 3 types of glasses. They have vision, then they have reading, and then they have sunglasses. I'm making Bernie's jobs very difficult. I'm making Bernie's job very difficult. Do you think we are entitled to 3 frames a year? Or is it just 1 frame? What do you think? Drop your comments below, and here we go. Here comes Frameworks. And that is Frameworks. Student loan debt forgiveness. Next up across the board, the question with student loan debt forgiveness is how much and when. $10,000 offer made by the President of the United States. Should the Democrats take it? I think they should. The President has made a $10,000 offer to forgive student loan debts for people who are not included in the prior rounds. Those prior rounds also went by executive order. This would go by executive order as well. Democrats should take it. That would not preclude them from accepting more offers from the president next year. He previously gave student loan debts for people who became disabled. People went to work in the nonprofit sector. People went to work in the public sector 10 years after graduation. Then fifth stimulus, so important. Fifth stimulus will overlap with fourth stimulus because fourth stimulus is overlapping with third stimulus right now. And fifth stimulus is that raising up of your benefits if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits. We need it. Why? COLA doesn't work. Yes, your COLA benefits were announced a few weeks ago by Social Security Administration. Your check starting January 1st will go up 5.9% if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits, but that's not enough. Why? Because your benefits were undervalued pre-pandemic, undervalued now, and will be undervalued post-pandemic. And that is why they need to first raise your benefits up one time. That's what they propose to get you caught up. Then apply a new benchmark every December starting next year. And that benchmark will be inflation, which was always 2 to 3% every year. So you'll step up 2 to 3% every year thereafter. They're going to remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? The link is under the video. Become a member today to get the incredible newsletter. It comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and features the big money under first, second, and thirds for you to get. Third stimulus, paying out $45,000 still this week. In 1 week, the bringing back of third stimulus on the channel has absolutely been a runaway success for you because I'm seeing incredible messages, and I'm going to bring some of them on air and over the weekend and next week as viewers have sent incredible messages saying just one video changed their livelihood, really changed their livelihood. And that's what I want you to do. That newsletter comes out 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, features the big money on the first, second, and third stimulus, but especially on the third stimulus, features the 6 places you reach out to for the rent, the keywords you say, the statement from Treasury you want to read before calling up about the rent, the 5 nonprofits, and then features all these big sums of money. Get that incredible newsletter right now. And with that, it's time to go into my final commentaries of the night as we look back and look forward as to what has happened over the last few weeks and months. You know, not a time or place to pat myself on the back, but I think I will. What has happened? In the last 3 months, everything that I predicted that would happen with this recon has now happened. I told you that the House would pass, and with the Senate, the recon procedural, a $3.5 trillion framework. They did. Then, when no one was really looking at the situation, I said, I believe that the House will write the bill first in a subcommittee, not the Senate, and that the senators will be part of the discussion, but the Senate subcommittee would write the legislation. They did. I told you that the House subcommittee would be the one that would write it and call for a vote, and they did. Sheila Jackson on that Saturday night a few weeks ago calling the vote on the recon, which at that time was $3.5 trillion, and passing it. I had told you even before Sheila Jackson called the vote on that subcommittee that the House would vote for it on the floor of the House before the Senate. Very important part of the equation because we had always been told Senate would go first. I said, I don't sense it. I sense the House is going first. And it did. Then, as the House had the legislation, I told you that the moderate Democrats were really not holding a tough line with anything, and that Nancy Pelosi was going to do a really good job. She was going to get them on board, and they were going to agree to this recall. That I really did sense but I couldn't guarantee it that the moderate Democrats' big issue for the recon was not the CBO report, but getting that SALT deduction in there for New Jersey and states where there's a lot of taxes. That's really what they wanted. Once they got in there, they were fine. And that shows you the case, because when that Congressional Budget Office report was released last night, which I haven't really detailed much on this channel because it's sort of boring, it validated the issue that perhaps this recon is not perfect on numbers, on calculations. No problem for the moderate Democrats. They were really focused on their SALT deduction. I've always been telling you that the senators would add a lot of stuff to this recon. And we had that comment from Bernie Sanders when he was in the hall of Congress several weeks ago saying, I have a lot to add. That is where we are right now. The Senate is not a brand new game, but it's a very different game. Why? Because they have a framework of what the House has passed. And the framework does not create anything that the Democratic senators dislike. It just has the starting point. The Democrats have a lot to add to it. At the moment, as we go into a big evening, I do not know of anything in this recon that the Senate Democrats dislike. They just think that there's a lot of things missing. And many of those things are their priorities. Many of those things are your priorities. It's important for you to pick up the phone and get this big money for rent, utilities, food, and internet. You can do it. You can do it. If you're a senior, if you're disabled, and you know how to use a telephone, you know how to use a telephone, you know how to call information on the telephone, you can do it. You only need a pen. You only need a paper. You only need a phone. You can do it. The big success stories of this channel have been people who have picked up the phone and done it for themselves. Do not just reach out to the volunteers and ask them to do the stuff for them. You can do it. Find those 6 places and make those phone calls. But the easiest ones start, of course, with utilities. Start with you know your utility company. You get the bill, you get the phone call, you know how to pay them. You'll open the bill and you find the phone number for the utility company. You call them up and you call up the next one, the one after that. Everything is done differently in different places. Lorica sent me a beautiful message today on Facebook. I want to reread it again tonight, but it was commented by me on the channel yesterday because I didn't understand it. She gets her utilities are run by wood. She has a wood burning stove which heats the home and also cooks some of the meals. And she got free wood into 2022, and I didn't understand what that it was. I thought it was almost like she was punking me. I'm like, what? You got wood stimulus. And she got wood stimulus. She got literally wood. I don't mean like she got gas for the stove. She got the wood because the stove runs on wood. And she got wood for a year and a half. I mean, for the last 2 months of this year and all of next year. So every viewer always proves that you can go beyond even what I record in this video. Congratulations to Lorica and her family. They have a lot of wood now. And finally, if you didn't see what happened on the beach yesterday, did you see what happened on the beach yesterday? In Santa Monica, California, there was a guy with a YouTube channel who brought a bunch of cows to the beach here in Santa Monica to promote a new cryptocurrency. And I don't know what he was thinking, but some of these YouTube channels do anything to promote themselves. And so this YouTube kid brought this bunch of cows to the beach here in Santa Monica to promote the YouTube channel and to promote his new cryptocurrency. Not his cryptocurrency, the cow's cryptocurrency. A cow is a cryptocurrency? Very strange, very confusing. Let's watch the video. Maybe the video will explain. And there you go. I wonder how many subscribers you got out of that. Join me next on Evening's Countdown, then Stream Stimulus, and then Sirloin. New episodes of Sirloin that have never been re-released tonight at 8 o'clock. And then we got shows at 9, 10, 11:30 tonight, all about Forced Stimulus, all about the same programs. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino, VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful evening, and stay with LA for more.